What does the data tell us about undocumented immigrants and the costs they impose or the benefits they create for our society?
Yeah, undocumented immigrants bring all the same economic benefits that any immigrant does. And that's, I know, surprising to many. But, let's just go through. So I'll throw up kind of a quick list of facts out there, right? Where immigrants settle, investment follows, right? So you want investment in your community? Well, immigrants bring more investment in two ways. One is they're 80% more likely to start businesses than natives. So those businesses, right? That's
80%.
80%, nearly double. And those businesses create jobs, not just for immigrants, but for many natives. Also, when a critical mass of people from a certain country settles in a certain place, companies from that country of origin invest there as well. A story that I love to tell is a story of Pollo Campero, one of the fastest growing restaurants in this country, restaurant from Guatemala. They're the most popular fast food chain in Central America, and they're beloved. They invested in the U.S. 20 years ago because there was a large Central American population in different parts of the U.S., and they have kind of settled and established restaurants in those communities. But they're responsible for creating over 5,000 jobs, and that's a low estimate, and those jobs are not just for immigrants, right? Why? Because the investment, so the immigrant community came first, investment from Central America followed, and jobs were created as a result, okay? Well, that happens whether an immigrant is here legally or not, right? Many of the Central American population is here without authorization, but the investment still follows, right? Investments bring a lot of innovation. They represent, sorry, did I say investments? Immigrants.
Right.
Immigrants are 16% of all inventors in the US. They account for 36% of all patents. 36%, so more than double their representation. Some of that is because they directly are the inventors on record, but about a third of that is because they make native inventors more productive.
Native inventors learn something or see something because of a collaboration with an immigrant.
Yeah, a simple story that illustrates that well. There was an Indian doctor in Mississippi who had done some of his training in India, but some of his training in Canada, then ended up working here in the United States, Dr. Hari P. Kohli. Dr. Kohli started talking with a colleague who thought he had to amputate the leg of a patient because the leg had a wound that wouldn't heal. Okay? And Dr. Kohli remembered that in India, he'd taken some lessons on Ayurvedic medicine where they talked about the healing properties of turmeric. So he talks about this with his colleague, another doctor, and they say, well, let's try turmeric. I mean, all hope is lost anyway. We might as well try something new. The patient's leg heals, and they ended up doing a clinical trial and filing the very first patent in the US on the healing properties of turmeric. Now, what's interesting is, after that, native-born, US-born scientists patent all the follow-on applications of turmeric for medical practice in the United States. So by collaborating with an Indian doctor, new knowledge that then gets expanded.
So when you go to your supermarket or your pharmacy and you see turmeric on the shelf in the wellness section, the reason you see it there is because of this collaboration so very long ago.
That's right. It's not that some random person found it on Google. It doesn't happen that way. The movement of ideas happens because people move, right? And it's not just what I call highbrow. This is highbrow stuff, right? Patents, medical technologies. What's making our interview possible, the transistors and microchips that allow us to transmit, many of those innovations introduced because of immigrant talent. That's all highbrow stuff. But you mentioned your supermarket and the supermarket aisle. Let's go to another aisle. Let's go to the food aisle in that supermarket and think of all the things that you buy routinely, right? Your favorite foods or the foods for special occasions. If you start removing from the aisles those that were introduced by immigrants, what's left in your supermarket cart?
Little drab.
Little drab, right? Everything from pasta to hamburgers to sushi to salsa, sriracha sauce that we all love. It's all gone. It's all gone. And this is not like immigrants with PhDs.
Right.
This is just groups of immigrants from different places that create product innovations that benefit all of us.